Warning, explicit content. Listener discretion is advised.
Boss man, what you want? Boss man, what you said?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Muse Podcast. You are listening, that was Mike Moore from Fire in the Field. Mike came in and talked to Briggs and I about 2 new studio albums they're working on, releasing right now. He's got a single out called Shadow Way. If you want to hear that, you can head over to fireinthefieldmusic.com. Mike and Fire in the Field, he's kind of local heroes around here. He's a hell of a guitar player. He's playing a bunch of live gigs, which I'm going to fire off at you right now. So they are playing at the Starlight in Southbridge on March 14th, Southbridge, Mass. They're playing at Bishop's on March 20th, on Furies in Dover, March 27th, and the Stone Church on April 18th with Wild Adriatic. So get your ass out and go and see them. I guess the Starlight gig, they're doing a live video. So if you want to be in the video, head out over there on March 14th in Southbridge, Mass, if you're in the area. Briggs and I have been off for a little while. We actually worked together. We collaborated on a video game. You know that I make music for video games for a living. So the game's called Ultimate Rivals, The Rink, and it's out on Apple Arcade. You can have a look at Apple Arcade on your iOS device, you know, any of your iPhone, iPad, if you have a Mac laptop, or if you have an Apple TV. Apple Arcade is part of the App Store. And they got if you're not already on Apple Arcade, it's basically a subscription service so that you can play all their games all at one time. There's like a 30-day trial if you want to head over there and look for Ultimate Rivals, The Rink. We are super happy with how that came out. As always, if you want to support the podcast, themusepodcast.com, hit the contact button and send us some email. Of course, you can find us on all your podcast outlets. It'd be great if you give us a rate or a review. Thank you very much. And here we go. Mike Moore from Fire in the Field.
Whenever you're ready, I'm going to play a song. Tip of the old house, a brick gun bell, a fire in the kitchen sink, blankets made of dreams, all gone it seems. Well, I got time to think. Ooh, ooh, yes, the Madcap lair, I got the little spirit in my head. Ooh, ooh, yes, the Madcap lair, I got a little spirit in my head. Cheers of the mongoose pawing at the noose. Call of Commander High, Commander the Major, come to read my stature. I don't wanna die. Ooh, ooh, where the Madcap laughs, I got the little spirit in the head. Ooh, ooh, yes, the Madcap laughs, I got a little spirit in the head. Brick by leg, there's thunder in the trip. The cats have tipped. The saucers and the beggars bite their lip. Everyone's gone crazy. Everyone's gone crazy. A halo picks a daisy, and an angel tells me maybe. A halo picks a daisy, an angel tells me maybe. And I take a little sip. Ooh, where the Madcap laughs, I got the little spirit in my head. Ooh, where the Madcap laughs, I got a little spirit in my head. I got a little spirit in my head.
Yeah, man.
Right on.
Wow.
That was awesome.
What's that called?
It's called Spirit in the Head.
Beautiful. Wow. How long have you had
Thank
that
you.
song going? Is that new?
Just a couple months. Yeah, brand new, probably January-ish.
Are you writing all the time?
Yeah, man. Absolutely try to write as much as possible. There's so much in the schedule, so you gotta. It comes and goes. I think in terms of like how consistent I am. But I mean, we're in March, which is March 4th. We just did the RPM challenge. I didn't quite make the deadline. Just was so busy gigging and all that. But I've got like 10 new tracks, all instrumental. You know what I mean? So it's
right
like, on. So yeah, I try to write as much as possible. Yeah.
So this one in particular,
Yeah.
where did this one come from? Did it start as like a riff?
It's a cool story, actually. It's a song unlike anything that I've ever experienced writing. Randomly, a friend of mine told me to check out this audition for a role in an art film, a short film about Syd Barrett from Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah, okay, cool.
And they're like, oh, you should audition for Syd. And I was like, that's hilarious. Well, I love Pink Floyd, so I was like, I'm gonna go to this audition and try and at least be part of the band or like help out recording
where is
audio.
This? Let's paint a little picture.
It was in Cambridge, Mass.
Yeah.
So I went and auditioned and landed the part of this short film.
Awesome.
And they were like, okay, so you're going to be Syd, so we're going to have the movie end with Syd. So it's not actually like a historical thing. It's kind of about like when he got into acid and like when he went down took too much acid.
Sure.
So the movie was going to end with me playing a song that this character who's not Syd Barrett, but so obviously is Syd Barrett, that kind of thing. That kind of movie, like a take on it. Yeah. So I had to write this song. They're like, okay, write a song in that psychedelic style. It doesn't sound like a Syd Barrett song really, but sure. I listened to his song, the Madcap laughs, is like where I got the chorus basically. The Madcap laughs, and then the title of actually I ripped off from Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried, because I got super into that Ken Burns Vietnam documentary, and then Tim O'Brien's in the doc, and I was like, oh man, I remember the short stories I read, from that excerpts, because it's a bunch of essays or whatever. So I went back, read that, and then like at the end of the book, he says that Spirit in the Head. And I was like, yo, man, Spirit in the Head, yeah, that's Syd, tripping out on acid or whatever.
So wow, there's a lot of information flying around.
Sorry.
So no, it's good. No, it's awesome. So did you already make the film? Is the film happening?
No, the film is likely not going to happen ever.
Ah, too bad.
No, it's just one of those things, DIY resources and trying to get it together. They want to make it. It didn't happen the way they wanted to, and it might happen, but it might not. But it was a cool experience for sure. But yeah.
Did they hear this song? Did you play them the song?
I did, yeah. They were stoked. I mean, it was definitely, it's not appropriate for the film, in my opinion, because it's kind of like whimsical, uplifting in a way, but it's still dark, where this is like, the film was more like, this is the point where he breaks. So it has to be like probably more down, like tempo slowed down. The voice should be like really like kind of fucked up, I mean, right. He literally lost his mind. So,
I mean, I guess, but, art's art. It's gonna land, or it's not.
But I was just stoked like that song came out of me because of that. And I'm like, yeah, it might not be right for this, but it's a tune.
It's a good song.
Yeah, sure.
Simple, like, few chords and that's it. But
it's got that.
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, nothing.
So there's like a lope kind of thing going on there, which is that pulls out that whole '60s things for me. But if you think about it, in the '60s, I mean, they were just ripping on what they were listening to their parents listening to or whatever. It wasn't like coming straight from the blues. It's almost like that Bertolt Brecht kind of thing, like a theater musical kind of thing at the same time. Then it shows up in the 60s, and then it shows up as like psychedelia, and now it's like here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What did you start off with the words with that one?
I did, actually. Yeah.
Is that typical?
No, I don't think so. No, for the most part, it's usually the music first.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I write a lot of lyrics, and I'll end up taking pieces of things that I write and put them into like new ideas that I get with the music. I think more and more I try to do music first than anything else.
I've always had the approach that I'm not as good at, handling words and things like that as I am with music. So I try to take that Elton John approach where you just get some lyrics down and then reflect on that. And then I try to do what I pretty good at,
Yeah.
you know, which is the music part. Does that stuff ever get into your head, or are you just kind of?
I definitely am always editing everything. I never have anything that's set lyrically. I always am like ready to just destroy everything. You know, I think that for me, it's like be ready to just destroy.
You mean
know?
like that
don't
you finish it and then you're just ready to throw it out? Is that
no,
what you-
just like in the process of creating it, like don't be afraid to just ditch a whole big chunk of stuff. You know what I mean? I get rid of verses. You know what I mean? I cut everything up to shreds for the most. You know, like
Right.
Even if it's just in my head, like doing something during the day, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I should do there. You know,
How do you
I
tell
just-
when it's done?
it's never done.
Right on. So
Yeah,
like even
it's
if you
just
say you record a song or whatever, will
deadline.
you still keep working
No,
on it? Or
there's definitely like a feeling of like, yeah, man, I feel like it's ripping and I feel good about it. Let's not do too much. I definitely never want to cross the line and overcook it.
sure.
But I feel like you could always, because your ears hear the material so much, I think that you're gonna question it, like
Sure.
because you've been in it for so long. you
Keep
know?
it fluid. And
So it's like
see
you
what
can
happens.
you can always make another mix call
Sure, right?
if you really want to. You can, but
Yeah, it's your song. Do what you
know
want
what I
with
mean?
it, right?
But yeah, I try not to go too far into the rabbit hole. But what's the line? Yeah.
Right.
Have you changed stuff after you recorded it? You record it, then you go
Yeah.
live, and you're like, "Fuck that! I want to do it differently."
I think that always changes. Yeah, somewhat is going to change. Sometimes in a major way, sometimes in just little things. But yeah, it's always different.
That's yeah.
It's always different.
You know, I mean, people who listen to the podcast know that is my jam. That's like everything about what I'm thinking about now is the impermanence rather than the permanence
Right.
of the discussion, right? I mean, that's where we
Yeah.
have this opportunity now with everybody all connected to actually make that happen.
Yeah.
You know. Wow. So this one, did you change things after you played it for the director or anything like that? Like, did you get notes?
It kind of, the whole project that's kind of where it fell apart, where it's like, I love the song so much. What if we do it in a way that's more like dark and whatever, more fitting? But I never really, no, this is pretty much how I wrote it. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Great. Are you going to record it, or is this just for the film?
The blues album that I was telling you about is
So
is
tell me
I wanna
about
be on
that. What's your idea?
Actually, dudes, last time I was here, I was talking about how I wanted to do that record and those tunes that I played, right? So we ended up, we tracked 9 tunes
who's we?
of that.
Who's we?
Myself, Jeff Bottolato, who's the original bassist. You've met Jeff, I believe.
Yeah.
I think.
Original bassist
From Fire in the Field.
Right.
Played with him since high school. And then Jared Graham, who is Fire in the Field's he's our 3rd drummer. It'll be a year for him this March in the band. He's just been the greatest addition, man. He fits right in and just he elevates us, man. You know, it's one of
Awesome.
those things where it's like, yeah, you know, playing music with people that just feel good, that you like being around, and you're just like, yes, you know, it's great.
You made this recording.
We have recorded, yeah.
Where'd you do it? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. This is not the record that's coming out this year, this spring.
Well, you should definitely roll.
But no,
no.
I like this because this is like, it's just a cool story because it ties into, like, you know, when we were hanging out last, and yeah, so we ended up tracking just the guitar, bass, and drums, no vocals yet, at New Alliance in Somerville.
Shut the front door.
I'm telling the truth.
That is the fucking place for 40 years.
Yeah,
Like,
you didn't.
I'm guessing
shit,
40
man.
years? At least 30 years anyway.
It's their new location. Do you know Alvin?
Yeah.
That's where he is. A lot of the WEMF guys are in that building. Wow. And but it's cool, man. It's like, it's a tracking room, kind of like the size of this room.
Yeah.
And then they have like a master control room.
Yeah.
And around it is a bunch of like art spaces. Up above it is rehearsal spaces, art spaces. It's in the Market Basket of Union Square.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's a great studio. It's where we did a bunch of recording for the new record that's coming out now, and it's where we tracked basics for the blues album, which is like, and we're gonna have Andrew blowing on keys for that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Yeah. When he's been playing it with us, which has been cool.
Yeah. Andrew's the
He's
fucking
the man.
Talk about
Just
just
a
like
cool keyboard stand too.
talk about talk about elevation, man. Oh my god, dude. Like we were playing at Flight Coffee in Dover last Saturday, and he
Shout out to Kelly.
yeah, Mr. Bauer, and he we were killing it, and then Andrew like took a solo and was like Andrew blowing for like a couple minutes, and people were like eating it up, and I was like, man, I gotta step up my shit.
Well, I guess you could look at it that way. I mean, I'm sure they're just all having a good time. He's a killer, and he's great. He's starting to show up on more and more different shows and different players.
Yeah.
And, stuff. So yeah. The Briggs and I just last night were talking about Mudrock, the old producer Andrew Murdoch, who I met at New Alliance a million years ago.
Nice.
And I gave him my Maestro balls and speed pedal.
Yes.
Nice.
Have you ever seen one of these things?
No.
Oh, let me show you one, because I got one off reverb.com.
This is a ridiculous.
I paid way too
looking
much
pedal.
money for it too, but it's the
it
best
looks
pedal
like
ever of all time.
It's like
What
a
in God's
metal
name?
Do you want to try to
doorstop.
describe that to the people listening?
It looks like a giant phaser from Star Trek or something.
It's like a wedge,
Oh, and it says phaser on it.
and it's actually a phaser. Phaser is the sound that goes
Yeah.
on your guitar.
I have that little tiny orange MXR version of
MXR,
that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Phase 90.
This
Yeah.
is
But this is a
one you can use as a
giant brick.
doorstop.
And could
also.
you? So there's
Killer,
wheels on the side, like
Yeah, it's
instead
amazing.
of knobs, then they're like you can play them with your toe. You can make them go faster and slower.
Yeah.
You have to stomp the whole thing down into the ground to.
Yeah, there's no button.
The button is the whole pedal.
Yeah.
And then the best part about it is the one of the wheels is named balls and the other
Exactly.
one is named speed.
It's literally like an Austin Powers joke. It's like, the countdown. It's like 8, 7, and then the camera pans over and it says balls, and it's like a joke somehow.
Well, here's the fun part about it.
It's unlike any pedal.
I may have fucked it up. Did I call? Yeah, right. So I said Maestro, not Hohner, right? Yeah, I
you
said Maestro,
right.
right?
You said it
So
right.
do you know who made that circuit? Bob Moog.
Right on. That's how you know it's good.
Cool, man.
Fucking crazy, right? It's all extruded
Insane on
aluminum
it.
and shit. This giant.
It's
thing.
really heavy.
So I'm guessing that you had a good time. That's why you're telling us the story. What was
Yeah,
it like?
man.
What was it like?
Oh.
The New Alliance.
It's just great to be 3 people in a room all playing live at the same time and playing for keeps.
Yeah.
It's just the best feeling in the world. And immediately the sounds that we got were, everything got dialed up and it just sounded great. Just listening back to us jam out, we're just like, man, the sounds are, yeah, okay, then let's go. There was no barrier from us to like getting into the groove.
Right. Were you in the room with the drums?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fucking great.
Yeah. It's the best.
And then but you didn't sing live.
No, I did. I mean, I did a little bit of like, just
Like
quiet,
a guide vocal.
pretty much.
Went back and
Thank you. Yep.
dubbed the.
That's
dubbed
the word?
Oh, I'm not. I don't. Sorry. I didn't mean to,
No, I was
I
just
was
like
trying to help. Right?
simplify.
Hey man,
The guide
do you not
vocal,
know it's
bro.
called a guide vocal? Anyway,
End of podcast.
so you did that, and did you dub like solos and shit too? I mean, how did you go about
ended
doing
up. It felt so good, and I know it sounds like I'm being like confident. Like nobody wants you to be like a confident musician, but it was just like, dude, man,
Hey, when it's good,
like
it's good.
that
And if
shit.
you feel it,
we were fucking rocking out.
Yeah, it
And,
just
right
happened.
on.
I didn't plan on cutting solos live, but it just felt so good being in the room with everybody. I was like, fuck it, we're just play it live, and just every solo is a live thing.
Are
Awesome.
these original songs? Original blues
Yes,
songs?
yeah, definitely. Yep.
Wow. Okay, so when's that coming out?
That I have no idea.
Well, that's off.
No
for a
idea.
little while.
Yeah.
So you talked about something coming out in the spring. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a 10-track studio record. It's like, I don't mean this in a negative way. It's like kind of a zombie record in a way for Fire in the Field, because
What does that mean?
Yeah.
last March.
it's a zombie record. It's like a guide track, asshole.
Yeah,
I don't know anything.
I don't know what a zombie record is either.
stay woke, man.
What do you mean by zombie record?
Oh God. So I was saying Jared is the 3rd drummer in the band. Last March we lost our drummer, and we had the studio time booked, and we were working on some tunes and blah 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 blah.
Right.
Then the bass player wasn't around, and it was like this whole thing, just scheduling. You know what I mean? Just like try to get something done, and as a DIY artist, and it's like you gotta if you're not gonna like hustle and do it, like it might never happen.
Right.
You know,
It's
like
a window. Yeah.
So it's like no, you're quitting the band. Like I'm not letting this like detract from fucking full steam ahead. So on this record is the original drummer John Santarelli, who you know, who played with One Hand Free after Kelly left. Who's my best friend. I've been playing with him for years. So he played on half the record. And then my friend Jo Beth Umali, who plays with Lee Millis World Music Band, and I play with her in Miss Fairchild. Sorry.
Zealy?
Zealy Millis.
Say it one more time because I can't, I'm old. Go.
Jo Beth Umali is the drummer who tracked the other half of the record. And she plays in a world music band called Zealy Millis.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And I probably am pronouncing it wrong, which is probably part of the problem.
So there's 2 drummers on the album.
2 drummers on the album.
Great.
Yep. And they just crushed their stuff. And I ended up playing bass because our Jeff was not around at the time.
Right.
And didn't. Well, I mean, he's so busy, you know. We're just being real here, DIY, trying to live a life
Get
and
it done,
make
right?
music.
Right.
And
Also,
make
the
art and shit.
studio they have their schedule. You got to fit in. You got to get the whole thing.
Exactly.
But,
So, so that's what happened. You know, so I played bass on it, and it sounds killer, man. It's getting pressed to vinyl right now.
What did you just say?
What?
Yeah, it's getting pressed to wax. Yeah.
Is it?
That's awesome.
Am I crazy? Did I read that the factory that makes the raw materials for the vinyl actually burned down? The one that's like I'm guessing, I don't know, it's in a foreign country. And did you heard this as well?
Yeah, it's like there's no more lacquer for the
Oh,
master. I don't know.
I missed
vinyl,
that story.
it's the lacquer for the masters.
Oh, no way. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
I should probably look that up, but I'm
Same.
not going to.
No, yeah.
I'm going to, actually.
Okay, very good. Go ahead. No, I mean
Not
during
right
this
now.
podcast. No, okay. That's great. So you getting the vinyl printed.
Yeah, man.
This release is slated for when?
It's slated for. Man, you're bringing up a whole thing because this is like a regular question, right? When is your release date? And for me, I've been like struggling with the current times and how to release a record, you know?
Yeah, it's a good call.
And all that. And it's like every project we've ever done is like, it's taken so long because it's DIY and boom, boom, boom. And you feel like we got to get it out, got to get it out, got to get it out.
Right.
You know?
What's the turnaround time for? Sorry to.
Yeah,
jump
no.
in.
It's usually it takes a long.
I meant for
it
just
can
the
be
vinyl
months,
pressing, like
can
when
be
you submit.
months.
Yeah,
You know?
okay.
Like we went through disc makers, and it's like a 7-week turnaround time, and
That's not that bad, actually.
it's getting longer.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it has anything to do with the lacquer, but you know, so
More people are probably making records too. Maybe.
yeah,
Are you saying you're waiting for that? Is that what?
yeah. It's scheduled to be here in the end of April,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna I'm pretending like it's not even happening because of the lacquer thing and because of like, you know, it takes a long time and it's like I'm not going to. They
Well, I
can't.
mean-
There's no guarantee on how long it's gonna take, really.
Objectively, you don't need the lacquer vinyl version in order to quote release the record.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah, so I was honestly thinking about just putting it out on our website. And it's just like, if you want our record, you can buy a record for $10. It's on our website.
right.
It's a good deal.
I'm so tired of like caring so much about like Spotify and streaming and all this bullshit. And it's like, you see that thing they did before the new year where it's like they sent out like your little stat for Spotify, how many countries, how many plays you have. I was like, oh, that's cute. That's nice. What the fuck does that do for me? You know, I don't know.
It gives you 0.2 cents.
What do I get? What do I get to cash these tokens in and play fucking Zelda online? What am I gonna do with that?
That would be kind of cool.
It would be kind of cool.
So you're
but
saying
it's
no?
just like,
You're saying you're talking about your own one when Spotify sent it to you.
Yeah.
You have stuff on Spotify.
yeah, and it looks good. It's like, oh
it's
wow.
nice to know that your material's being listened
But
to
like-
in Germany or whatever.
But like, I don't know them. I don't have any connection to them. You know,
Right.
there's a barrier there. You know,
Right.
and it's because that's how they do things. And it's like all you're doing by posting that is just marketing for them. Essentially, I've been to the Spotify, and I'm not saying I love using the platform.
Right,
It's, I live by it. I'm just saying like how to release a record.
Yeah.
What does it mean to release a record and how it's consumed? It's like I want to make a connection with people, man. It's like
Yeah.
I feel so disconnected on the internet, dude. I just feel it's terrible.
Well, it's one of the reasons. I mean, all joking
I don't
aside,
mean it's got dark.
no, it didn't. This is why we do this. This is why the podcast. This is the whole point of the podcast, is to talk about the stuff, to understand more about the material rather than just the initial thing. It's funny. We were listening before you came in. What we listened to? Rival Sons. One of their albums. The drummer. This is on Spotify, so it's right there. Then right below it on Spotify, there's another one. It's just got basically a commentary. It's the same album, and it's like he's listening to it. You can hear it coming through his speakers.
Right.
He's like, and this is cool. I'm playing a Cascara rhythm here in the background. You're gonna really like this. And the funny thing is, I listened to the record. It's a little derivative for me. It's not really my favorite kind of material, but one of my friends was like, "You got to listen to this." So I'm like, I listened to it. But I got to be honest, I like the record way more after I listened to the commentary. Like that disruptive approach towards releasing it really worked for me. I'm like, oh well, I like that song. Like I'm not just consuming it in the same way.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I wonder
sense.
if that's part of the answer that you're looking for. Not that you need to make a commentary, but maybe you do. Like maybe the idea is that you don't release just the same old to Spotify, but you use the platform to put a bunch of shit up that might somehow make it better,
Right. Yeah.
We were talking about before. I'm sorry, someone was here earlier today. We were talking about Wolfpack, right? And I think that came up with us as well.
Yep.
And it's like I really respect the way they completely did an end run around the industry.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
they solved it with YouTube.
Yep.
Which is a at this point probably the initial point that people are gonna understand like a new act is through YouTube, not really through Spotify, right?
Sure.
And then I like the way they went and they did the whole college thing, and they did a bunch of cool weird things. Like they put out that one. I think they put out like they had a big campaign where they wanted you to put their song on repeat at night when you went to sleep.
Oh, right.
So it's like, it was just, it's all PR, right?
It's called Sleepify or...
Yeah.
I think...
It was pretty funny.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember when that happened.
So I just like the idea that they use the platform to push, and that's a fun band. It's ironically funny and all that. And so they've got that pushing. But it'd be interesting to see how, someone in your... in the class of you guys is going to use that platform. Because I don't think you're just going to go, okay, here's the album and I'm done.
Sure. Yeah. So kind of going back to Spotify thing, not saying anything, trying to be negative. So I went to the Spotify conference in Brooklyn a couple years ago.
There's a conference.
And, they do it, pretty regularly in different cities. And it was really cool talking to people in the industry. And it was like a mind-blowing experience. But what I noticed was like, there are people so far beyond where I'm at in terms of like listenership and all of that. And it's like, they're asking the same questions that I'm asking. Right, yeah. They have like hundreds of thousands of plays on Spotify, you know what I mean? And they're like trying to fucking figure it out. So it's like, let's release a record and have a party with like people that we can like be around.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like who gives a, like, what do we care?
Right.
What does it do? Nothing.
I think at one point the radio was like that. There were people that were built for radio, artists that were built for radio, and then they would get played on the radio. And the live thing was sort of a separate. Look at it from Boston, like the Cars.
Sure.
I mean, those kind of bands really live. They were fun or whatever, but you're not living to go see those guys,
Right?
But bye love is the the soundtrack of many people's high school careers, and so they were built for the radio. And I think you probably had these same discussions with certain types of bands that were like, why am I trying to make something for the radio? I just want to make something that we can play. Right?
I saw a funny meme that was like bands really trying to hone that Apple commercial sound or something like that.
Sure,
that.
Exactly right.
Good.
Exactly. But they're definitely, the long-term stuff is going to end up being people that are just making awesome music. So it may be a little bumpy on the way. Is that kind of where you're going with this? I mean, can you see Spotify though as the radio? So like if you're on there, someone can listen to 100%. You. It's cool.
No, I think everything eventually should be available like on that platform because bands that I love, I buy their music and then I listen to them on those platforms.
Right.
It totally makes sense. Yeah, I'm not trying to be like anti or like, too punk rock by any means. It's just in terms of like what makes, if I'm a DIY artist, if I'm like a, like what matters more, I think is the core and making sure that like everybody around you is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right on. Absolutely.
And I think that's just sort of like, I don't know.
You guys
It's
played.
just-
You played with a band the other day at Flight.
Yeah.
Had you played with them before?
No.
Oh, was that
never
just like a
played with them
regular
before.
Kelly booking or something?
I'd
like
met a couple of the guys before at random musical situations, but
Right.
no, we had never played.
some of the acts around here that done pretty well have sort of paired up with, not paired up, but like trioed up or quartered up with a bunch of different, is it quadrad up with a bunch of different
Tetrad.
different, yes, exactly, acts, and sort of that same kind of thing. So you made a posse and sort of move forward from there. I'll bet you that's in you guys' future right now.
Yeah.
Having people saying, we want to play with you, we want to do
It's
that
just,
kind of thing.
I mean, it's just live is so much. I mean, it's just all about the live thing for me.
Right.
It's just 100% like that is where it's at.
So we were just talking about this the other day. Right now, like if you go like all the way to Montreal, all the way down to like New York, is there a place that you want to play? Are there places that you like, you have played that you like playing? Because obviously there's less places to play live now than there were 20 years ago.
We've been having a ball in Western Mass, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you name some places?
Northampton, we've been playing Bishop's Lounge
Nice.
pretty regularly. We just played Hawks and Reed, which is in Greenfield, which is a pretty sick venue.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What was
man.
sick about it?
It's just pro status shit,
Yeah.
man. It's like they get a lot of. Sorry, I keep forgetting they have a guitar and I just like play.
You
Don't worry about it, dude. It's cool.
Good thing. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Hawks and Reed, man, killer venue,
Awesome.
So
pro stuff.
So you are
sick.
happy with some of the places around here. It's not you're not dragging ass to some bullshit place as much.
No, man, we have a blast live. We have an absolute blast.
That's an interesting thing. So you say it doesn't matter where the place is. Like this is where Fire in the Field's playing, so it's going to be good, kind of thing.
Well, playing places like Flight is just beautiful because no one's there to get drunk or anything. Everyone just comes to hang out and listen to music.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that vibe. But yeah, I mean, like it's also fun to play the crazy gigs too. But yeah, of course, there's always a level of grind that you're like, oh no, we're playing here.
All right, so
But-
let's segue to road stories. Stories on
from
the
the
road. We should probably get Phil's take on that and play it back like a professional podcast would.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, we don't have to do that. So go ahead. Can you give us an example of a crazy gig that you've played? Something that's an outlier.
Oh man,
Let's go.
actually, it's not a gig story; it's a post-gig story.
Sounds good.
It's fine.
All right, so I was playing in this band called Miss Fairchild, and there was this funk song called I don't remember what the fuck it was called. Oh no, but there's this chant in it, and it was pretty hilarious. And it was the chant was SOS, and I forget how the riff goes. I forget it. I forget it, but yeah, there's a chant for SOS, and there was like this epic funk tune, and we would bring down the house with this funk tune. We would do the whole like gospel-y, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And so the singer had the sign that said SOS on it. And the next day, we're actually driving home in Andrew Blowen's van, and there was like 8 of us in the car with all the gear. Too much weight, too many people, too much weed, too much hangover, too many miles. There's this car next to us, and I got like super long hair. I'm wearing aviators. I think I got a giant beard. And I think I probably have like a cigarette butt from my mouth, and I'm just looking over at them like, like what? What are you looking at, Subaru? And it's like this family, you know what I mean? It's like you know, and they're all just looking just like concerned. We get pulled over by a statey about 10 minutes later. And the cop comes to the window and he's like, you know, classic, like 6'5" statey, old dude, like strapped, multiple clips on his belt, the wide brim hat, the whole thing. And he comes up to Andrew and he goes, you guys think this is a fucking joke? And Andrew's like, excuse me, officer? He's like, you think this is a joke? And he's like, what? He's like, I've been getting calls for 30 minutes of an SOS coming from this van. and we were just like, oh no. And you know,
wait, what does he mean?
So the song, they had the sign for the song in the van.
Oh, the sign.
And it was out the back window.
So he said that, right?
No.
And I look back and it's just like the sign is perfectly facing from inside the trunk, facing out. And I was like, oh my God. And meanwhile, it's like, and then I flash back and I'm like, I'm sitting there all like hungover and angry, looking at them in my aviators, long hair and big beard. And they're like,
oh my God. Yeah.
They're
you're
like,
the perp.
They're like, call the cops. That's an SOS.
That's awesome.
Now let's take your side on this just a little bit for just a moment. Am I to believe that you had kidnapped some young person and they had somehow manufactured a professional-looking SOS sign?
Well, it wasn't too professional.
Okay. And they had jammed it into the back window without you knowing, asking
100%,
for help.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess.
That's what everyone believed, and multiple people called the cops.
If you saw like the crew we were rolling with, including myself,
Totally do understand.
The van that we were driving. It's just like how we all looked. Just like people are probably just like, oh no, you know, we're driving through Connecticut.
Right.
Come on,
Connecticut.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like look
it
at
wasn't
this.
the only van with an SOS sign.
Oh no. Oh my God.
So how did that all work out?
It worked out fine. It worked out fine. The person who didn't have a seat because there was too many people in the van just like hid, and we all basically all laughed and like we're like, yeah, we're a band, and he's like, God damn it, see you later, and then he left.
Right on.
So all was well. It's just
Did you guys turn the sign around, or did you?
leave
it in the window?
Oh yeah. I was like, oh,
that's awesome.
What's the what's some of the greatest places you played?
the greatest places.
Or best show?
We played the Paradise.
Oh,
awesome.
Which was cool. That was dope.
The Paradise Rock Club.
Yeah.
Did you open? Was it your night? How did that go?
It was a local night, actually, of like 3 bands.
Awesome.
And this was back when the Paradise Lounge, I believe, still existed.
Okay.
Which does not exist anymore. Yeah, that was killer, man.
There used to be a comedy club right in the Paradise. Like the Paradise and the comedy club were right next to each other there. And that's where people like, Rogan and all those Boston guys all used to, they got their start at there.
Gotcha.
That was the fucking place. Briggs, you've been to the Paradise.
Yes.
What was the coolest show you've seen at the Paradise?
Oh, man. On the spot, I'm just going to pick one. Boredoms. Yep. With Thurston Moore opening up.
Oh, shit. Did Thurston Moore just take his guitar and lean it against the amplifier?
Not exactly, but he definitely
buttons.
just did guitar noise for a really long time, but it was really great.
That's dope.
But the Boredoms, it was actually really, really great seeing the Boredoms.
Wow.
I had a 7-necked guitar that had one dedicated roadie holding it up from the back while he bashed it with giant, broomsticks or dowels or something. And he basically punched at this 7-neck guitar that had 3 necks sticking one way and 4 necks sticking the other way, and it was arranged on this frame or something.
What?
And he was hitting it so hard that it was toppling backwards, and he had a roadie guy whose whole job was to stand there and hold it upright while he was playing it and tune all of the shit while he was not playing it. It was fucked up.
That kind of does sound relatively epic.
It was awesome.
It's almost ironically rock that he's hitting his guitar.
No irony. It was balls out.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was actually a really great show.
I'm just picturing the guitar case.
I'm not.
You would have to you'd have to remove some of the necks.
I don't know. Maybe it flat packs. It was large. It was definitely large.
I mean, it was beyond Cheap Trick level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about beyond, but you know,
in the range.
Yeah, sure.
It was Malmsteen left and right. level.
Different execution, you know.
Yeah, right.
Same magnitude,
Right,
different direction, if you will.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anybody, Mike, at the Paradise? Have you ever been there?
Oh man, the last show I saw there was it was actually the Prophets of Rage.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
at the Paradise.
It was like
that must have
that was
blown
awesome.
up.
It was insane. It was their first or second show of like their last big tour, I think. It was killer, man.
Yeah, Boston or the New England area is the beginning of a lot of major acts. You know, sort of that level acts tours. Not necessarily they're not going to play Boston Garden first, but playing the Paradise or the Orpheum or whatever. It's a great place to start. It's an easy start.
But all kinds of people play there too. I saw Thundercat there one time. That was really good.
That's the one I didn't go to.
It was good. It was really good.
I really should have gone.
You definitely should have. It was really fucking good.
Yeah. I've talked about it before, so I won't keep going on. We saw Off. That was their very first show ever.
I should have gone to that one.
And they were opening for Dinosaur Jr.
Oh, cool.
And the mid act was Henry Rollins came out and interviewed Dinosaur Jr.
What?
They sat on chairs and he interviewed them, but he didn't let anybody record it. It was just a live interview, not to be recorded.
Wow.
Awesome.
And that was the only time we saw it, and that was pretty cool because he was like really.
Wow, that's interesting.
He was really, really respectful of the whole idea. They were one of the first bands to let his band open, actually. So I couldn't believe that was the case. I'm like, how does that work? I mean, weren't you more famous than them at the time? But he goes, you know, but that was what he was saying, and it was pretty interesting. I would, you know, I would be more accurate if they had recorded it and we could listen to it again. But there you go. It's just all memory now. But it was actually really cool, you know, to feel like we're right there.
That's a trip, man.
There you go. There's that disruptive thing again, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe
totally.
that's the trick. Have you ever made a video? Have you ever been? You have a YouTube channel? Is that your kind of thing?
We do the YouTubes.
How does that work?
How does it work?
Well, I mean, in your case, what have you done? How do you use that outlet there?
I am so terrible with YouTube, and we have like, you know, probably we have a ton of videos. We have a channel, but the analytics, the search, it's not very much searchable.
Right.
Fire in the field. It doesn't really work. So,
Well, no, but I mean, let's assume someone saw you, at a show and they wanted to follow up and see you on YouTube. Like, are you talking about there's live shows there, or are they?
There's live shows. There's a couple of music videos that we made.
Really awesome.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. There's, you know, we have our last album, the Pink Noise session, was like a live in studio thing. So there's a bunch of video of that, of us playing to like tracks that you'd hear on the record. So there's a ton of stuff.
Did you take any video from the recordings that you've been making?
No.
Not right now?
No. That's a lie. We had a video crew in there for the blues album. I'm thinking of
That's what I'm talking
the
about.
current record that's coming out. I didn't do anything.
Can we just get this out? So
Sorry.
do you have the name of the album?
Yeah, the name of the album is Resurrect.
Okay. So the album
Yeah.
Resurrect is the one that's coming out in the spring.
That's one that's coming out. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And the song that you played before, that was not on that
That's
album.
not on that album.
Right, that's cool.
I'm not going to play any. Well, no, I'll play something for that. To
Okay.
close it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So can we just back up a little bit here? I know we've talked about this before, but this is the first time that you've been on this podcast this way. How did this whole thing start out when you were little? I mean, what got you to do this? Why did you go, I'm going to play music? When did you know?
I think just I loved sound and sensitive to it for a long, from a young age. Like I hated like loud noises when I was a kid. Like I was always like weirdly shy. And I think that having an instrument definitely like made me feel more comfortable.
Was the guitar your first instrument?
Piano was my first instrument, and I did that for like 6 or 7 years, and then I just didn't. There was a disconnect between what I liked to listen to and what I was playing, and guitar was the instrument that was that, and that was like when I was 14. So I'm 32 now. So
well, I say,
playing
but that
for
you
a
say
while,
around 14. So, but before
Yeah.
14, like, when did you start listening? Did you have early recordings that like we usually ask, like, what's the first like actually physical piece of
That I
music
was
that you
listening-
got? We won't be able to ask that very much
It's
longer.
not going to be a relevant question for long.
Did you get like a cassette or like a CD?
Man, I don't even remember.
When you were
man.
little?
I don't remember what I was like. The first thing that I bought for music. I've bought. This is so much.
Of course, yeah.
Fuck. I mean, like the first records that I was listening to are like my dad's records, like Neil Young, Live Rust is like
Neil Young,
that's like
Live Rust.
that's
Wow.
like burned into my mind. Muddy Waters, Electric Mud, a bunch of Muddy Waters shit. Some John Lee Hooker, some Zeppelin, Santana, Buddy Guy.
All guitar bands.
All guitar shit. The Doors, so much guitar stuff. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Wow, I never thought about that. Dirt.
Well, but you also but you started out with Neil Young, so that's going to be like,
Yeah.
Like he's got that awesome style of
It's just-
soloing, which is just
Yeah.
like, I am going to bend it into the fucking
Yeah.
ether, and I don't care what note this is anymore, and I'm just going to vibrato too
Right.
fast. I love
Right.
that shit.
But it was that Live Rust sound that when he does the. But it's like just.
Yeah.
That I was like, what the fuck's doing that?
That's as punk as anything has ever been. It's or whatever, you don't want to use that word, but it's as filthy as anything in anybody's life.
Yeah.
It's just bleh.
It's like, I want to do that. So, yeah. There's so much great music, man. There's just so much great music that I think when you just grow up with people that love music and play music all the time and like things are centered around it, food and celebration, just all that regular human shit.
Sure.
Like music is just so much a part of it. And it's just like, man, it's just, I want more of that, man. Give me more of that all the time.
First time you were on stage that you can remember?
First time I was on stage, like playing in my band.
Well, I don't know.
I would say-
You tell me.
The first stage performance I ever did was when I was mimicking like the drums to Wipeout. When I was like probably like 5 or something. I remember
Air
drums.
Wipeout.
I remember telling my cousin, be like, dude, it was some like, what are those, like a VFW like part hall, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay.
A bunch of Irish relatives getting hammered, and we just like Wipeout comes on. And I like told my cousin, I was like, let's go play, man. And I pretended to be playing drums for some reason.
Did you get a round of applause?
No, I don't think anybody noticed.
Okay.
Or actually, no, I think I remember feeling embarrassed. Like I remember feeling like somebody laughed.
Oh,
probably.
don't worry. You'll feel that way forever whenever you get on
Right,
stage.
exactly.
If you're me. Anyway. What about so then but obviously you must have had a band pretty early then, it sounds like.
Pretty
right?
much. I mean, I lucked out picking up guitar because I fell into a band within months. Just playing, basic first position chords, and it changed my life, man.
Do you remember some of the first songs? What would that band play?
That's it.
What song is that? Oh, you mean that's original? Was it an original song?
That was the original song.
What? Do you remember it?
It's called Blue Sky.
Come on, do it.
I don't know the lyrics though.
Oh, come on.
I never sang it though. I wasn't
Oh,
a singer then.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I won't make you do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so one of your first bands wasn't a cover band? It was you were playing original.
All right, this is fucking hilarious, man. I feel so funny because I've only recently really thought about this, and it's just sounds so stupid. But when I first took a guitar lesson, in my head, when he was like, "Okay, here's an E minor chord that we're gonna play, Turn the Page by Metallica,"
Turn the Page
and
by Metallica.
I was like, in my head, I was like, this dude's showing me how to play somebody else's song? This doesn't make sense.
Oh, because that's
You
so
know,
cool.
right?
It's like, yeah, you're like, no, I want to write a song.
Yeah, I was like, I thought this was about me, man.
Young
Like,
people are so awesome.
make me sound like me,
Yeah.
you bastard.
It's like, no, you sound like the
Yeah, it's
dude
like-
from Metallica.
No, you might have to know like what the fuck music is, man, before you make your own, But I don't know. I think it's because I was playing piano. Like I assumed that he knew. Like, dude, I need to make my own music, man. What the fuck, an idiot. So funny. So yeah, definitely. When I picked up the guitars, super intentional in terms of like I want to make sounds for this purpose.
What was your first band's name?
Retrospect, and then we became Taken by Infinity.
Taken by Infinity.
Yeah. Yep.
Did I do that smoother this time?
It was smooth.
It wasn't as creepy the way I vampired it on the band name.
No,
like
it was good.
usually.
It was good.
All right.
Until you just explained it all right there. You shouldn't have said anything.
I
You should have
should've
just kept going.
Been smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth is not my factor, baby.
No.
I'm not the
You
smooth
and
factor.
Rob Thomas.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Thanks.
that's a low blow.
Okay.
Sorry,
let's
Rob.
not get serious
I don't know,
here.
Rob. He's probably a nice guy. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
maybe.
It
But he
doesn't
also
matter
had
he's a
that
nice
song
guy.
Smooth.
It's a
it was
terrible
smooth
fucking
joke.
song.
It was a bad joke.
Horrible song. I guess it's good if you're at a wedding
Poor Santana, man.
or you're.
I don't know,
in
man. I'm
Florida.
pretty sure he knew what he was signing
yeah,
up for.
actually, yeah.
at a
Fuck,
party.
fuck Santana.
First big rock show you saw.
Man, I don't know.
I'm still riffing on Taken by Infinity.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
It's like
of-
getting sucked into a black hole.
Yeah,
man.
no, I'm just wondering like the names that were thrown away in
Oh,
order
sure.
to get to that one. That's what I'm thinking about. But
I see.
yeah,
Oh,
first
dude,
big rock show.
You don't want to
remember?
know. First big rock show, man. I cannot remember. Oh my god. I mean, the Black Crowes. I saw them a million times. I saw.
Well, but you must have
When I
seen
was
somebody
little-
when you were little that was like, I want to, again, like you got to see yourself up on stage. I mean, your generation obviously have, music videos and stuff were all happening, so you saw it on television. But
I mean, my grandmother was a singer, and
Oh,
she
really?
was super into music and just
what
really
kind of music
infectious.
did she sing?
She would sing like old, like 50s hits. You know what I mean?
Did she sing professionally ever?
She did for a long time when she was in her 30s.
Wow. In what format? Was it like with a band live or
With
recording?
a live band, and I'm blanking on the name. Something quartet. And yeah, it's cool, man. It's like I got her old posters and stuff from a couple of her gigs.
Oh no,
That's awesome.
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
very cool.
She was super badass. Like half of the like weird clothes that I wear on stage are her clothes.
Really?
Right on.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
She was just like,
How many dudes get to say I wear my grandma's clothes?
Right?
No, your aunt. Do you say grandma?
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Wow, I know where I'm at.
Yeah,
Today.
yeah. No, she was like fucking like super hip, man. So I think
Did she play the guitar also?
No, she just sang. She just sang. But I had her cousins, my like third, fourth cousins were all country western players.
Wow.
Two guitarists.
Have you ever
and
played
a
with them?
Accordion player. No, they're pretty much all.
Oh,
they're all
of course.
gone except for JoJo on guitar. He's so old he can't play anymore. It hurts him. But he used to geek out when he'd be like, "Oh, you got the Fender Bassman." I started on a Fender Bassman. And I was like,
Yeah.
"JoJo, this is a reissue. It ain't shit to your Fender Bassman, dude."
Yeah.
But yeah. So I.
Yeah. So you don't have like that seminal rock experience. You went to
Dude,
see the band and you're like,
all right,
oh my God. That's
I'm a
it.
little embarrassed. I definitely saw like Hootie and the Blowfish.
That's not embarrassing. I mean, if you're young and you don't know any better.
I don't think it. Oh, dude, it's so bad.
They were
No.
a huge band.
They were huge. And all music is fucking better than not music, right?
But
You
no,
know
no.
what I mean?
Sure.
It doesn't matter who it is.
And going to a show is cool, even
That's
if the
it.
band
I don't care who it is.
isn't good
I
or whatever.
never
you know
don't
what I
have a
mean?
good time.
Yeah,
I'm going to figure out a
exactly.
way to have a great time. Yeah.
I just can't, dude. I can't think of what the first concert I saw was right now.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
That's okay.
That's kind of weird.
It
I feel
is.
like most people haven't answered that question.
I don't know. I mean, if you've been to a million concerts, they all kind of go together a little bit.
Yeah. Fuck, man, that's weird.
Do a couple of them stand out? Do you ever seeing, someone? You ever see one of your idols?
Seeing Prince
Awesome.
snap.
in 2014 was
Was it at like the Boston Garden, one of those round things?
no,
round
it was
things?
the one of the not Foxwoods, the other one.
Mohegan, you saw that Mohegan show?
Yeah, I was at the
Cool.
Mohegan show.
Buddy of mine went to that. He said it was out of
It's
control.
insane, man. It was like 11-piece horn section in the front of the stage on the first song, just all fucking rocking out. It was unbelievable, man. It was the whole
So
thing was
awesome.
insane. And then most of the crowd left at the second encore. Most people left. Lights went up, and then 15 minutes later,
Every single one of them.
hits the stage, and we rushed, and we were at the front of the stage, and they go into that instrumental that sounds just like the ocean from Zeppelin. One of those kind of
Sure.
things. And it was so dope, man. It was like Janelle Monáe and Esperanza Spalding, like
are you
sitting
killing me?
sitting
Yeah.
on a couch, not even performing, just sitting on a couch all sexy, just watching the band just destroy it. And it's just like instrumental Prince, like full wah, full tilt on the guitar, front and center. Everyone's just exploding. We're seeing our friends. We're like, yeah, dude, we're seeing this now. Like, It was that
Did
that
you
moment.
know that
you
they were going to do like a set 15 minutes afterwards?
I was with a diehard, and he was like, and we had tickets to the after show.
Oh, okay.
And we were like, no, man, we're staying just in case anything happens. And
Did you get any pancakes?
dude, we didn't see Prince at the after show. He did not show up.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Esperanza Spalding opened that show, right?
Janelle Monáe.
Oh, really?
And,
oh,
well,
okay.
Esperanza, Janelle, and then Prince. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So good.
Whoa.
It was so sick.
Wow, because Esperanza Spalding was doing the that sort of more like robot-y kind of stuff,
Yeah.
you know, kind of real modern sound, not as trad stuff. And Janelle Monáe is just a, you know,
Powerhouse.
I mean, just like a living energy force of creativity.
Yeah,
you know?
she's beautiful. I love her so much.
Yeah.
The James Brown, everything she's got is like just, yeah, like you say, living force of creativity. That's a perfect description.
She's just doing it. It could not fucking care less what you think, which is, you know,
Yeah.
my
Right.
jam right now.
Totally.
Yeah. trying to continue that,
Right.
that experience. Like, this is what's happening today. I don't care what you think. Here it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And look at, she's blasted into acting,
Yep.
destroying it there, you know, crazy.
Yeah, she rules, man. She's
Wow.
so dope.
Wow.
Super dope.
All right, so you got you have these two things coming together. The blues thing. What drove you to do the blues thing? I know you said you wanted to do it. I remember talking to you about that, but was it you actually, you know, you spent some money, you got into the studio.
Yeah. It's just, I just feel like the need to record as much as I can.
Yeah, is it
you
going to
know?
be Fire in the Field?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I just, no other reason. I mean, I guess it's, you know, it's just when you feel good with the people you're playing with, and it's like you've got the energy and everyone's stoked on the material, and it's like, why wait around and just let's cut some tunes.
How do you guys handle practice? Do you is this kind of thing where the more traditional style where, you know, where every Thursday we get together?
No, it's,
or do you just practice for the shows when they come along or for the songs? How do you do that?
we run it and gun it 24/7. Nothing's set in stone. It's a mad dash. I've rehearsed with just Jeff, the bass player, rehearsed with just Jared, the drummer, multiple times, communicating via text, by phone, and what we're doing in the songs, you know.
So you kind of always doing something. I know you have some shows coming up. We'll talk about those in a minute. But I mean, do you practice for the shows, or do you just are always doing something?
We're always doing something. We don't practice necessarily for every single show.
Well, I mean, you've been playing together for a while now.
Yeah. We practice the new material, and when it feels right, then I think that's when live we've been getting more comfortable letting things flow live.
What does that mean?
Making sections like really in a set length, where it's like we feel okay about taking chances in spots we didn't take chances before.
Taking chances, I mean, like taking the song in a different direction than the way it was recorded.
Yeah, if you feel creative and have an idea for something and pushing the music in that direction, let that happen live. We've gotten better at doing that.
That is my number one favorite thing when live bands do that.
Yeah.
I mean, given that it's that in that style, obviously you go to see Prince, you want it to be, you know, tight as a machine, but
he jams, like they jam, man. They totally jam.
no, I get it. And so in your case though, you're saying that once you have enough time on the new material and you prop it into a set, then you're going to feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
Going a little wide with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes
Sometimes you just don't have the time. Like I mean, it's just given the framework for what we're working on. I mean, like I have a bass player that we play with sometimes that we've never rehearsed.
You mean just? Do you mean that bass player is just playing the show?
Yeah. And so then it opens up in a whole other way, because I'm not going to try and hold that person necessarily to every single thing that I have in my head of what the tune means.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, all right, we'll go into this jam section, and you're actually playing the jam section from a different tune.
But
fuck it. Here we go. Let's
In
do
the
this.
moment, you can't tell that guy,
Yeah.
though, right?
It's like, actually, this is great.
And then it's
I'm
cool,
having a
right?
blast.
yeah, as long as the drummer's cool with this whole thing, yeah.
Yeah. You know,
As long as nobody fucks it up, it's awesome.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, that's really on the fringe of like, why are you not rehearsing? But yeah, I definitely like I mean, you know, when you have those jam sessions where it's like you all get together, you hang out for a second, then you play, and the first jam you play is the greatest fucking thing that's ever happened. And then you hang out for a second, and it's like, all right, let's jam again, and it's good, and everything's good. But that first jam was the one that ends the world.
Yeah, there's spice in that moment there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been feeling good about like just rehearse enough and then let's let the live thing take over. Whereas like if I was in a Prince situation or a Bowie situation where you have a whole show, like you have all these other moving parts, then there's a reason to actually rehearse more, you know? But I think the more you can play and create with somebody, the better. But if you're just rehearsing the same old tired thing, like you're gonna burn it down.
Right. I mean, I think those kind of more structured shows and stuff, they're going to be developed early on.
Yeah.
With a small group of people. Then at some point they're going to go, all right, we're going to schedule whatever 6 days in a row.
Right.
With the full act and let's get it done.
Yeah.
So, and then they're immediately going out. I mean, so in their own way, they're doing their own version of running gun,
right.
You know, sort of as a group.
Totally.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's so true, actually. Because I would love to rehearse more, to be honest. just because the more time spent like working on something, like, or then work on something else. There's always more shit.
Right. There's always something to go forward
like,
to.
Keep going.
Great. All right. What do you have coming up here? What's the deal?
I got a tune to open G tuning. Is that right?
While you're tuning, let's talk about the other things you have coming up. You have shows.
Yeah,
this one's gonna
lots of shows.
This episode's gonna go out pretty fast. It might even go out tomorrow. So,
right,
change that out. So,
loading up the calendar here. You got a lot of local shows coming up, right?
Yeah, we're playing at Starlight in Southbridge, Mass. We're shooting a music video on March 14th. Starlight, Southbridge.
Wait a minute. Cool. Does that mean the people in the audience will be in the video?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do they have to dress a certain way?
Nope.
It's not gonna be like MTV Daytona Beach where you're like, you.
Canary yellow T-shirts
out of
only.
Here. You. Seriously though, I mean, like, so do you think the people in the audience will be in the video?
They'll be in the audience in the video.
2 seconds ago, I said absolutely, and actually, I have no idea.
I think absolutely is yes.
I mean, your job is to show up and rock, right? So
that's great. So that's the Starlight.
Yeah.
When is
Starlight?
that?
March 14th.
March 14th.
But yeah,
Southbridge.
It's one of those things where I've been trying to formulate the idea and get with the videographer. We're gonna cook something up good. I just don't want to say the one thing or the other right now.
No, I get it. Do you know what song you're gonna do?
Yeah, we're doing the title track to the album Resurrect, and the cool story about it is I know we're kind of coming to the end here, so just tell me to shut up if I go on.
No, it's all good, man.
It's all good.
I just ramble sometimes. So we actually wrote the song. Speaking of playing live and taking risks, we kind of wrote the tune at this venue. We were jamming. We were playing a tune in the middle of another song in the set. I started playing the riff that would become that song, and turned to the drummer and the bassist Brad and Jeff at the time, and we picked up. We jammed. We played a tune. I thought of a theme and went with that. Sang it live, and people clapped like it was a regular song. And I discovered the recording because I put up a mic to listen back, found that, and I was like, this is dope. This needs to be a song. And it became, pretty much as is what is on the album, I guess. I tried to change the lyrics that I ad-libbed, and it didn't seem to... I changed it, and it just didn't make sense anymore. I was like, no, just leave it as is. That's what it is. And it's Resurrect became the title track, I think, because I just kind of love that story of that spontaneous thing. It's a simple, it's a down tempo, like dirty rock tune. It's like, but it's got soul and it kicks, man. And I think people are going to dig it. We've been playing it live at every show and people love it. So it's been good, man. It's been good. But it's just one of those things that it's like, once I thought of that tune, it was just like, well, that should be the title of the record, because of that story.
Are you saying that you wrote it at the Starlight?
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually connected to the place.
Yeah.
That's a great story. Hopefully you'll tell the people in the audience that. That's nice. Are you going to play a whole set that night? Are you gonna
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're playing probably 3 hours.
So when you do
You gonna make up another song?
Maybe. We usually, I mean, every time we're there, we let loose in terms of like what we usually do. But
So when you do a music video like that, are you going to play the song a couple of times?
I think we're actually going to do it to the track in terms of like
Yeah.
before the show. We're going to probably go early and like we'll record us playing to the studio track and then get shots, action shots of us playing live with the audience and then throw it in.
Get it all together there.
Cool.
See what happens.
Wow. And where that's going to end up on your YouTube?
I'll be on our YouTube page,
Awesome.
on our website and all that. Yeah.
That's
But,
right. It's going to be shareable, put on their Instagram.
Yeah, totally. We've been doing this thing where we're giving away the single of the album right now, Shadow Way. So if you want to hear it, send me an email at fireinthefieldrock@gmail.com and I'll send you the tune. Fire in the Field.
Oh,
Rock.
directly to you. That's how you're giving them away.
You can do
Right
that.
on.
You could find us on Instagram and our website, Fire in the Field Music, and do that. But if you send me an email, I can just pop you the track real quick.
Nice.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get
No
a
bullshit, right?
gotta
You
get a
just
sample of the goods, man.
Fucking A.
What's the name of that song again?
The song is called Resurrect, and
No, the one that you're giving away.
the one we're giving away is called Shadow Way.
Shadow Way.
Yeah.
Got it. Wow. So you have this show coming up in March at the Starlight. You have a couple other shows. I heard you playing at.
Yeah, we're playing at Fury's in Dover on March 27th. We're playing at Bishop's Lounge on March 20th in Northampton, Mass.
Bishops.
Yep.
Yeah, we're playing the Stone Church, open up for Wild Adriatic on April 18th.
Oh, that's going to be
Nice.
a big show.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Yeah, we're pumped to do that one.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Thanks for having me hang out with you guys.
my
Yeah, anytime, man. This is awesome.
fucking, man. All right, and then one last time, the easiest way to get to know more about you would be probably your website. What's your website?
fireinthefieldmusic.com.
fireinthefieldmusic.com. Mike, this has been superb.
Dude,
what
thank
are
you.
Thanks, man.
What are you going to be playing?
A song called Boss Man that is on the new album. Eventually, we're going to do a thing. If you buy the vinyl, we're going to get you a bonus track, and it's a acoustic version of me playing this. Or you can just rip this version from this current performance and just bypass that whole shit.
Wow. Well, then this is like a world premiere, a world premiere recording.
Alternate mix.
I'll try not to fuck up the mix for you then, so it'll be good. All right, Mike, rock and roll whenever you're ready.
You got a hard head, so hard you're upside down. You got a hard heart, so hard it make no sound. You spit your blues at me when I go out my way, not trying to keep the faith, Lord. My pocket's empty. Boss man, what you want? Boss man, what you said? Boss man, now I'm gone. You dog gon' play dead, yeah. I got your contract talk, I never signed in blood. You speak like John D. Rock, Lord. I need some soap and sud. Scrub stink gone for me. Yeah. Hook out to my mouth. Go fishing somewhere else now. Go forth until the drought. Boss man, what you want? Boss man, what you said? Boss man, now I'm gone. You dog, go play dead. Good luck with your head, good luck with your heart. I tried to make the bread, and I pray you wake up. Good luck with your head, good luck with your heart. I tried to make the bread, and I pray you wake up. Boss man, what you want? Boss man, what you said? Boss man, now I'm gone. You dog, go play dead. Go play dead. I want you to go play dead.
Word.